Hi everyone, it's your favorite Atomic Blonde here with another Pop Chat special. This time we are talking about Cobra Kai season 6 final episode. So we knew going into it season 6 was going to be the last season. Netflix broke it down into 3 releases, and at the end of last week, the final, I think it was 4 episodes dropped. Now, anybody who's been a member of the channel for a while knows I love this show. I grew up with the Karate Kid in the 80s, and it's absolute TV gold. And I say it in every review because it is. It's completely nonsensical. It's bonkers. It's cheesy, but you just can't help but love it. And sort of seeing these stories conclude, the showrunners have done a fabulous job. I have to say, I had a grin from ear to ear at the end of this show. The conclusion of especially Johnny's story, Johnny Lawrence's story, the brilliant William Zebka. The Cobra Kai was all about, it was like his show, really. It's like, what happened after he lost the All Valley tournament? Where did his life go? And he's been on this sort of gradual kind of redemption arc since season 1. He sort of never grew out of really being a teenager, even though he was a dad and he got responsibilities. He was drinking too much, he failed at life and it was everybody else's fault, all that kind of jazz. And over the seasons, you've seen him sort of, grow, mature. He's a father again by the end of the season 6, because at the beginning we knew his partner was pregnant, Miguel's mum, and him just sort of working for Daniel, and obviously seeing them have this friendship that kind of blossoms over the seasons, especially towards the last couple, because it was getting a little bit, they'd become friends, there'd be a misunderstanding, they'd then fall out again, and then they become friends again, and they kind of stopped all that, I think, with season 5, and they said, look, that they are friends now and they've got to learn to trust each other, and that really comes through in this final season, these final episodes. So I have got here spoilers, guys, so if you haven't watched it and you don't want to know, stop watching now. They're going to get into some spoilers. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, you were warned. So we basically got the final showdown at the end of the middle part of this season. They're at the tournament, and again, it all goes bonkers crazy. Everybody's fighting everybody live on TV, as you do. And unfortunately, one of the Iron Dragon contestants gets killed. He falls on a knife and is killed at the end. So it's all like, is the tournament going to go ahead? What's going to happen now? So we kind of come in with his funeral, and Silver basically wants this tournament to go ahead. He's dying of cancer, I think it is. And obviously he's got an angle, he's got a motive, he always has. But he wants this thing, he wants to win this thing so badly. So he kind of wants this to be his legacy, and he wants to win at any cost. So he speaks to the people that host the tournament. They basically say, look, if you can get all the senseis to agree, we will complete the tournament, because we're kind of at semi-final stage. But everybody has to agree. So most of the senseis agree, except for Daniel. He's like really struggling with the fact that this kid died. He's kind of shut himself off from karate again, doesn't even want bonsai trees around, and he's not dealing too well. Johnny really wants it to happen, because this kind of and where the story goes, it kind of obviously all loops back to the original Karate Kid and him losing to Daniel, and he feels like he's just been a loser his whole life because of this. So again, it kind of thinks like everything kind of plays out. Ultimately, Daniel agrees, and they agree to fight. Then Samantha basically decides she doesn't want to fight, and she forfeits it. But before that, she makes up with Tori, which is great. So that way she doesn't have to fight Tori, but then Tori will have to go through to the final to fight the the biatch from Iron Dragon. And then we've got Robbie, who's fighting against, again, the guy from Iron Dragon, who's basically seems like quite a nice lad, but his sensei's a psychopath, along with Johnny Silver. And they're just like, win by any means necessary. And he's basically forced into breaking his leg, Robbie's leg. So he can't continue. So... and then Kreese is on a, sort of farewell tour, and he's sort of tired, and he's kind of had enough of life, and but he wants to kind of make peace with everybody. And he comes to the tournament and he sees Johnny and he apologizes to him, and said, like, I should have been there for you. I've done everything wrong, all those kind of things, and so they kind of have a moment. And he's like, is there anything I could do? And Johnny's like, well, give me Cobra Kai back. So Johnny takes over as sensei for Cobra Kai, as basically Miyagi-Do's out of it because Sam, and but they can get a replacement fighter for Robbie. So Miguel steps in. So we've got Miguel and Tori with Johnny as Cobra Kai sensei. Which in itself is just like a bit bonkers, but anyway, you just roll with it. It's Cobra Kai, come on. So then it's basically Cobra Kai versus Iron Dragon. And these things, all the fights sort of like kick off, and Tori's like lets her opponent get into her head, and she's not doing well, and Robbie comes over in a timeout and basically tells her that he loves her, and she gets her head in the game and basically kicks the crap out of this girl. Like there's like her final kick, and you see this girl's tooth just go flying out. I will say as well, there's a couple of F-bombs and S-bombs in this final few episodes. So if you have got kids and you don't like swearing, there are a few, but I will say they absolutely fit the scenes that they're in. It's not just kind of gratuitous. It does make sense why there's a few F-bombs in here. And then it kind of goes on to Miguel's match, and again the Silver and the Wolf, the sensei, say like any means necessary. They basically tell him that Miguel broke his back. So the fact that Miguel's even doing karate is just ludicrous. But anyway, like I say, you just got to roll with it. It's Cobra Kai. And to basically, when he goes to do a roundhouse, if he kicks him in the right spot, he will break his back again. So this kid kind of gets forced out there, and it's like it comes to the moment, and they're screaming at him to do it. And this kid, sort of he's got a bit of a crush on Sam, but also underneath it all, he's basically a good kid who's been bullied by his dojo, and just goes, no, I want to win it fair and square. So he doesn't do it, and means Miguel goes on to win. So now at the end of that, Cobra Kai has won the male and female fights, but it's about points, and basically Iron Dragon and Cobra Kai are completely tied. And there's this bonkers rule that says it'll be settled by the senseis fighting. So then Johnny then has to fight Wolf, who's obviously younger, fitter, psychotic. And Johnny's, a little bit out of shape, lacking a bit of confidence. So they go away and regroup and train. And again, you see sort of Johnny, and it's brilliant though, because he's like, Daniel's his sensei, he's going to coach him. And they're like one of Johnny's favorite films are the Rocky films. So we get like a Rocky montage, and they're running on the beach, and we've got one of the songs from the Rocky films playing, like from Survivor, and it's pure cheese. The cheese is dialed up to an 11 on this, but it's so much fun. It is just so much fun. And obviously it comes down to the final fight, and he's there's a confrontation in the locker room before it, and Wolf gets completely into his head, and he's just like, I can't beat him, and he's like taking a bit of a pummeling, and they call a timeout, and Daniel is Daniel, right? So he's supportive. He's it doesn't matter if you win or lose. Come on, blah blah blah. You know, being very Miyagi-Do, and he goes back out and he gets his ass kicked again, and it's like the first of 3 points, so he's already like 2 down. And Chosen's like, Daniel's like, you're his sensei, do something. Like, you know how he thinks. So he calls his final timeout. And he just literally looks at Johnny, and he's just he goes like, it's got to do Cobra Kai, right? It's time and place for Miyagi-Do. You've got to fight. And he's just basically says, stop being a pussy. Get out there and kick the shit out of him. You know, there is no fear in your dojo. There is no pain. Get out there. It's absolutely hilarious. I loved every second of it. Like Daniel going all Cobra Kai, or going all Johnny Lawrence on Johnny Lawrence. It's just brilliant. And obviously Johnny goes out there, finds his mojo, and manages to win. And so he's won the All Valley tournament. He's kind of got, he's got his pride back, his dignity. Everybody's going nuts. And it's just such a heartfelt moment. It's absolutely lovely. Like I say, you just have a grin on your face from ear to ear. And then from there, basically, you just sort of see all the sort of key characters. Like, so Tori ends up with this sponsorship to promote, karate and brands, and getting paid a shit ton of money, because obviously she didn't have the opportunity to go to uni or anything like that. Same with Robbie. He was going to have to repeat a year at school. So they're off doing touring and promoting and making a load of money. Miguel's got into Stanford. Sam's off to Okinawa. The Hawk and his mate. One got into MIT. The other one's got into Caltech. The other one then dropped out of MIT. And so they're going to go Caltech together because they're best friends forever. So we basically have wall-to-wall kind of happy ending. And there's a very last shot, which I won't say because I do, but everything all just loops back. And we did get CGI Mr. Miyagi again. It was an improvement on last time CGI, but the problem is when they talk, the mouth doesn't quite move properly. But it kind of, like, again, like everything else that you you have to suspend belief in this bonkers show. A little bit of CGI Mr. Miyagi, you can go with it. I just it was just so I think it's absolutely 100% 80s cheese, heartwarming, happy ending, so like a la Baywatch kind of, I don't know, that the A-team at the end, everybody's saved. It's got that real sort of 80s, if you believe and if you work hard, you can achieve anything kind of, belief that somewhere along the line I think we've lost. So kudos to the showrunners. They absolutely nailed the landing. They dialed it up, like they dialed the cheese up to 11, if not 15. It's still bonkers. It's completely unbelievable, but that's why I love this show, and that's why I've been here for it from day one. The showrunner's just done such a good job with moving the story forward, moving the characters forward, but not losing that heart that the Karate Kid had. So absolute kudos to those guys. Go and watch it. If you've not watched any Cobra Kai, go and watch it. You don't have to have watched the Karate Kid to get into this show. Obviously, it makes more sense if you have. But there's enough sort of flashbacks and exposition that you can figure out basically what the dynamic is of the plot and what happened to each of the characters before they meet again as adults. And there was quite a lot of cameos from people that were in the original films. And again, they always give you a little flashback, so you kind of clock who they are. Like, I mean, I haven't watched those films for ages, but again, or if you never watched those films, they kind of always explain who these people are and what they are to the characters, or how they relate to those characters. But like, if you want to do like Buffy reboot, take note. This is how you do it. You don't pee off the original fans. You don't tell them it's not made for them. You don't, have it's probably actually a very anti-woke show because of Johnny Lawrence character, because he just doesn't get it right. He's the most politically incorrect person alive, and bless him, he's tried to learn, and he's he's trying to get there with the, but he's just he will never get it. But the thing is, you don't want him to change. At the very end, he's reopened Cobra Kai again. He's walking around to the kids and walks up to the kids and goes, "Hey, 4 eyes, take those glasses off, get a new pair of glasses or contacts, but don't ever come back in with those monstrosities," kind of thing. So he's not changed in that sense, and that's why we love Johnny Lawrence. This was his show, his arc, his redemption, if you like, and it was just so sweet. Everybody kind of got what they needed by the end of the show. So as you can tell, I loved it. Sorry, not sorry, unapologetically love this show. Would definitely go back and rewatch it. Do go check it out. And as always, let me know in the comments what you think. Is this just a step too far for you, Cobra Kai? I get it. Is a certain type of genre, I guess, or a certain type of mentality. It might just be too stupid for some people, too silly. But I absolutely loved it. Every season made you laugh, made you cry. And it was just so good to have something so much fun, just upbeat and fun on TV. That in most cases you can watch with the family. Like I say, there's a bit of swearing in there, but it's not gratuitous at all. So let me know what you think in the comments. Did you enjoy Cobra Kai? Will you be going back and watching The Karate Kid? Obviously, we've got the new Karate Kid film coming out soon. We don't know if it's related to Cobra Kai in any way at all, other than Daniel's going to be in it. Doesn't look like Johnny Lawrence is in it, so everybody's a bit like, not sure about that. But we'll see. So, yeah. As always, leave your thoughts. Let me know if there's anything you want me to review. And please like, share, and subscribe. It is super important to get the channel out there. The good old algorithms, it's hard to get these little channels like myself out there. So any interactions really, really help getting the channel out there. So let me know your thoughts. And I will be back soon with some more Pop Chat. Now you take care. Bye.